the divine appointment pause, just for a moment. I want you to take a deep, intentional breath. Feel the air fill your lungs and realize that this very breath is a gift you did not have to earn. You are here, you are alive, and most importantly, you are currently standing at a digital intersection that was designed specifically for your soul. In the world we live in today, we are told that everything is a coincidence. We are told that you are just a number in an algorithm, a data point on a server, or a person who happened to click a thumbnail because of a bright color or a catchy phrase. But I want to challenge that notion. I want to suggest to you that there is a higher technology at work here, a spiritual architecture that governs the when and the where of our lives. You didn't find this video. This video found you. You aren't watching this by accident. You are watching this by appointment. Think about the sheer impossibility of this moment. There are over 500 hours of video uploaded to this platform every single minute. There are billions of users, trillions of lines of code, and an infinite stream of distractions trying to pull your eyes elsewhere. Yet through the noise, through the chaos, and through the clutter of your own busy mind, your path has converged with this message. Why? Because the creator of the universe is a master of timing. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the one who stands outside of time looking in. And he knew that on this specific day, at this specific hour, you would need to hear a voice telling you that you haven't been forgotten. We live our lives governed by Chronos. Chronos is the ticking of the clock. It is the deadline at work, the calendar on your wall, the aging of our bodies, and the minutes we spend waiting in traffic. Chronos is heavy. Chronos is demanding. It tells us we are running out of time, that we are late, or that we have missed our window of opportunity. Many of you are watching this right now feeling the heavy weight of Chronos. You feel like the years are slipping through your fingers. You feel like you've waited too long for your breakthrough, for your healing, or for your purpose to manifest. But there is another kind of time. The ancients called it Kairos. Kairos is not about minutes. It is about moments. It is the right time. It is the appointed season where the windows of heaven open and the impossible becomes inevitable. This video is a Kairos moment. It is a disruption of your regular schedule to remind you that God does not work on your watch. He works on his throne. You may feel like you've been stuck in a long, dark winter. You've looked at the trees of your life and seen no fruit, no leaves, and no signs of life. But just because the ground is frozen doesn't mean the seed is dead. It means the timing isn't right yet. Underneath the surface, in the secret places where no one can see, God has been nurturing your roots. He has been strengthening your character. He has been protecting you from opportunities that would have destroyed you if they had come too early. Why did this message appear today? Why not yesterday? Why not a year from now? Perhaps it's because you reached a breaking point this morning. Perhaps you whispered a prayer in the middle of the night, a prayer you didn't think anyone heard, a prayer that said, "Lord, if you're there, just give me a sign." This is your sign, not because I am special, but because the truth I am speaking is eternal. You are being reminded that your life is not a series of random accidents. The struggles you faced, the doors that were slammed in your face, and even the people who walked away from you, they were all part of a divine filtering process. God was clearing the way so that when the right time arrived, you wouldn't be distracted by the wrong things. Consider the life of a traveler lost in a forest. They wander for hours, turning left and right, feeling more and more hopeless as the sun begins to set. They think they are going in circles. They think they are doomed. But from an aerial view, from the perspective of a pilot in the sky, that traveler is actually only a few feet away from the main road. They just can't see over the trees. I am here to give you the aerial view. I am here to tell you that you are closer than you think. The frustration you feel right now is actually spiritual labor pains. It is the discomfort that comes right before a birth. You aren't frustrated because you're failing. You're frustrated because you're outgrowing your current season. The old skin is getting tight. The old routines no longer satisfy you. The old conversations feel shallow. This is God pulling you towards something deeper. As we embark on this journey, I want to ask you to do something difficult. I want you to surrender your sense of urgency. I want you to silence the voice in your head that says you should be doing something more productive. There is nothing more productive than realigning your spirit with your Creator. The world tells you to hustle, to grind, and to make it happen. But the kingdom tells you to be still and know. There is a power in stillness that the world cannot understand. When you are still, you stop interfering with the work God is doing in you. When you are still, you allow the dust of your life to settle so you can see clearly again. This is your invitation to enter the waiting room of favor. In most buildings, the waiting room is a place of boredom. But in the kingdom, the waiting room is the place of preparation. It's where the king's servants prepare you, dress you, and brief you before you enter the throne room. If you are watching this, you have just been called out of the hallway and into the waiting room. Your name is on the list. The door's about to open. Do not click away. Do not let the enemy of your soul tell you that you've heard this all before. Your spirit knows this is different. Your heart is beating a little faster because it recognizes the resonance of truth. You are standing on holy ground, even if you're just sitting on your couch or holding your phone in a busy terminal. Let this truth wash over you. You are right where you are supposed to be. You are loved, you are seen, and your right time has finally arrived. The silence and the storm. The most difficult part of any journey is the middle. It's that vast, stretching expanse where the excitement of the start has faded and the finish line is nowhere in view. It is in this middle place where the silence of God becomes the loudest thing you hear. Many of you are in that silence right now. You have prayed until your voice is raspy, you have fasted, you have cried, and yet the heavens feel like brass. You look for a sign, a whisper, or a flickering light, but all you see is the shadow of the storm. I want to tell you a secret about the nature of the Creator. The silence of God is not the absence of God. In fact, silence is often a sign of deep intimacy. Think of a long-married couple sitting on a porch. They don't need to speak to know each other is there. They are comfortable in the quiet. But in our spiritual lives, we mistake quiet for abandonment. We think that if God isn't shouting, He isn't working. But look at the natural world. The most powerful forces in the universe are often the quietest. The sun doesn't make a sound as it lifts billions of tons of water into the sky to create rain. The earth doesn't creak as it spins at 1,000 miles per hour. A seed doesn't scream as it breaks open in the dark soil to reach for the light. Real transformation happens in the hush. If you are in a storm right now, a storm of debt, a storm of family conflict, or a storm of mental health, you might be asking, why doesn't He just calm it? Remember the disciples on the boat. The storm was raging, waves were crashing, and where was Jesus? He was asleep on a pillow. He wasn't asleep because He didn't care. He was asleep because He knew the end of the story. He knew the storm had a limit. He knew that the wind and the waves were merely the background music to a miracle. Your storm is not a sign of God's anger. It is a sign of your transition. A storm is simply a change in atmospheric pressure. It is the atmosphere shifting to make room for a new season. You are being shaken so that the things that are not of God can fall away, leaving only what is eternal. The silence you feel is God protecting your plans from the ears of the enemy. There are some things God is doing in you that are so precious, He won't even talk about them out loud until they are ready to be revealed. Hold on. The silence is about to break, but don't rush it. Let the quiet do its work. Let the storm wash away the dust of your old life. You are being refined in the middle of the deep, the architecture of your breakthrough. Have you ever watched a skyscraper being built? For months, maybe even a year, all you see is a giant hole in the ground. There is dirt, there is noise, there is mud, and there are heavy machines moving rocks. To the untrained eye, it looks like a mess. It looks like a step backward. People walk by and say, they've been working for months and there's nothing to see. But an engineer knows better. An engineer knows that the higher the building is intended to go, the deeper the foundation must be dug. You have been in the digging phase. You've felt like you're going down instead of up. You've felt like you're losing ground. But I am here as a prophetic messenger to tell you, God is digging a foundation that can support a massive destiny. If He had built your dream on your old foundation, the weight of the blessing would have crushed you. He had to clear out the debris of your past, the rocks of your insecurity, and the sand of your pride. The architecture of your breakthrough is complex. God is moving pieces on a chessboard that you can't even see. He is touching the heart of a person in another city who will offer you a job. He is closing a door that would have led to a dead end 3 years from now. He is orchestrating a random meeting that will happen next month. We often pray for a miracle, which is an instantaneous move. But God often gives us a providence, which is a slow, masterfully designed alignment. Providence is when the right time meets the right place with the right people. You are currently in the blueprint stage. Every tear you've shed has been recorded, and every prayer has been used as a brick in this new structure. Do not judge the quality of your life by the current hole in the ground. The architect has not walked off the job. He who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. Your breakthrough isn't just coming, it is being built. And when it finally rises above the surface, it will happen so fast that the world will call you an overnight success. But you and God will know it was built in the dark, one faithful day at a time. Letting go of the old map. One of the greatest tragedies in the human experience is the person who reaches their right time, but is still carrying the luggage of their old time. Imagine you are given a ticket to a beautiful tropical island, but when you get to the airport, you try to bring 10 suitcases filled with winter coats, heavy boots, and snow shovels. The airline tells you, you don't need those where you're going, but you insist. You say, but I've had these coats for years. They kept me warm in the blizzard. I'm afraid to let them go. If you don't drop the bags, you can't board the plane. Some of you are trying to carry winter luggage into a summer season. You are carrying the bitterness of a divorce into a new relationship. You are carrying the fear of poverty into a season of abundance. You are carrying the old map of your failures. But the map you use to survive the wilderness will not help you navigate the promised land. The wilderness required a map of survival, searching for manna, looking for water and rocks, staying in one place. The promised land requires a map of conquest, taking territory, building vineyards, and dreaming big. This video has found you because God is asking you to lay down the bags. He is asking you to forgive that person, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to fly without the weight. He is asking you to forgive yourself. You've been punishing yourself for a mistake you made 5 years ago, even though God forgot it the moment you asked for mercy. If you keep looking back at the good old days or the bad old days, you will miss the bright new day standing right in front of you. Remember Lot's wife? She couldn't stop looking back at what she was losing, and she became paralyzed. Do not let your past turn you into a pillar of salt. The right time demands a fresh vision. It demands that you stop defining yourself by what was done to you and start defining yourself by what God said about you. You are not a victim. You are a victor in training. You are not a reject. You are a reserved soul. Let the old map burn. God is drawing a new one in the palm of his hand. The power of persistent prayer. There is a law in the spiritual realm called the law of persistence. We see it throughout the scriptures. We see it in the man who knocks on his neighbor's door at midnight until he gets bread. We see it in the widow who refuses to leave the judge alone until she gets justice. We see it in Jacob, who wrestled with an angel and said, I will not let you go until you bless me. Why does God want us to persist? Is he stubborn? Is he hard of hearing? Number. Persistence isn't for God's benefit. It's for yours. Persistence is the process of your faith becoming thick. It's easy to pray once. It's easy to believe when things are going well. But to pray the same prayer for the 1,000th time with tears in your eyes and a mountain in your way, that is the kind of faith that moves the heart of God. That is the kind of faith that proves you are ready for the answer. Think of a blacksmith. He doesn't just hit the metal once and expect a sword. He hits it, puts it back in the fire, hits it again, and puts it back in the fire. Each strike of the hammer is a prayer. You think you're just hitting a cold piece of iron, but God is using the heat of your trial and the hammer of your persistence to shape you into a weapon of light. You might feel like your prayers are hitting the ceiling and bouncing back. But I want you to visualize a bowl in heaven. The Bible says our prayers are like incense stored in golden bowls. Every time you pray, that bowl fills up a little more. You don't know which prayer will be the one that makes the bowl overflow. It might be the prayer you whispered this morning,